All right, hello and welcome to episode 28 of the Two Heart
Some,
Two Fast
some,
podcast.
something like
29,
that.
28, 29. What is time? What is time anymore? I am your co-host, Juan Martinez, and to my left or to my right, he's in America and I'm not. It's Jacques Slade, everybody. How we doing, buddy?
Yo, what up, man? Oh, look at you, just exploring the world, world traveler, Juan. You're on the
Oh,
podcast.
yeah, shut up.
Don't give me that. Oh, you're
Oh,
enjoying yourself. You're lucky. Not most of us can't afford your big billionaire
oh,
lifestyle that flies
how
you
dare
around
you?
the
How
world.
dare you? How dare you? But yes, it is true. I have been away for the past who knows? I don't even know what time it is anymore. I have been gallivanting across I'll say Europe. I am in Cologne right now. I am in Cologne, Germany, in a conference room. Thanks to the fine folks at the Art de Hotel in Cologne, Germany, and they have allowed me to use their one of their conference rooms so we can record this podcast. I don't think they know that this was supposed to be a podcast. They probably thought it was going to be like some serious work call and all that. But
Yeah,
what we do is
yeah.
what we do is serious business, though, Jacques. What we do is
This
serious
this is
business.
this is serious. This is a serious, very serious podcast. That
Yeah.
that's
If
very serious.
and yeah, so you can see in the background is probably the streets of Cologne. It's pretty late, so there's probably nothing popping right now. But yeah, it has been a pretty hectic couple of weeks or so. So I have been here because my niece graduated from Oxford University. It's
That's
one of
cool.
those kinds of, yeah, that's one of those fancy deals. So it's one of those, yeah, when else are you going to get a chance to go to Oxford for reasons. So got the family and we all came over here. And yeah, it's been a wild past what has it been, almost like 2 weeks or so. Yeah,
Oh
started it
wow.
in London, then Oxford, and then took a detour to Paris. And then today we went from Paris to Belgium and then somehow passed through the Netherlands and then ended up in Cologne, where we are staying the night. That's the funny part about this, whole Europe thing is like, how here in America we go from like state to state. It's like, oh, we're in a different state, different country.
Yeah, that's
It's
cool.
just, yeah, man. And yeah, no, it's been a fun past couple days and everything. I've just been just seeing how like things are different around here. You learn a couple of things, right? And you could probably hear from my voice. It's kind of going through the motions because I've also been like going through the sickness because when you're out about, you kind of have to like travel in very cold weather and it's basically been like hovering between like the 30s and 40s the whole time we're here. And since I am a California person, it's not a weather that I am accustomed to. So I have been. This is like one of the first times I've ever had to like wear a winter coat for an extended period of time. Um, it's not something I definitely am used to, but yeah, it's been a helpful thing. But it still did not prevent me from having like a nasty cold, flu, whatever you want to call it, for like past couple
Oh, that
days.
sucks. That part
But
sucks.
uh but shout out to my sister for providing me with the wonder medications that I'm sure are probably not FDA approved. And
I
I'm
don't know if you should
definitely
be saying that. I don't know if you should be saying that on the podcast, bro.
I am the limitations, whatever you want to call it. I'm in a different
The
country. It
statute of
doesn't count.
limitations.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
you're in a different
Yeah,
country,
man.
so you're okay.
It's the
It's
area.
okay
It's
to
the
be
area code.
drugged up.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's the area code zip code rule, man. It's not. I'm not in the same. I can say that. I can say that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
man. But shout out to
All
my
right.
sister for providing that. But yeah,
After you
like
come back here and they quarantine your ass, you know why? You know why?
Oh, so yeah, no. Next week's episode is gonna be me with the CDC, whatever that looks like nowadays, apparently.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Oof. Anyways, but yeah, it's kind of different, the way things work around here, man. Like, it's not called an elevator; it's called a lift.
Called Lyft.
Uh,
Yeah.
yes, it's not takeout; it's takeaway.
Okay. All right. I get that.
Yeah, yeah. And the elevator, like in London, because they drive on like their right side, right? Their drive like the driver's side is the right side. That applies to everything, even when you go up the escalators. Escalators, when they go up, it's on the opposite side of what
Mm.
you're used to, and you're like, huh? Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense for
Yeah.
all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do appreciate the people of the United Kingdom for always like looking out for their for the foreigners, because every time you cross the street there, there's always like a painted thing below on the street that says look left, look right, because you know how it is like when you cross the street here in America, in America, it's like you know where to look first and where you look second before you actually
Yeah.
cross the street, right? You always have to like train like when you're there, you have to train your mind to like think the other way. But they already took the
Yeah.
care of that for you. He's like, no, you're supposed to look left. No, you're supposed to look right on this occasion, that kind of thing. So shout
Yeah.
out to them for be having the foresight to, think about like, the dumb Americans who come to to come to the UK and probably just like don't know what they're doing and like, might get into an accident or something like that. But yeah, I
I'm
greatly
sure it wasn't just us. I feel like there
uh
was other people that I'm sure it wasn't
oh
just
yeah.
Americans. I feel like they're because they're not the we're not the only country that has the that drives the
Oh
correct
no, no,
way.
it's we're definitely in the majority, but like they do point it out for our benefit and for everybody who
Yeah.
comes from a different country. And I do love it in the UK though. It's very multinational. It's very multicultural. Lots of different people over there.
Yeah.
So food is great. The thing that I noticed is that there's a lot of like British people get a lot of beef, like a lot of slack or guff for like their food not being great. And I gotta say, I was not surprised, but I was definitely like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was. I had the we had like in Oxford, we stayed at like one of those bed and breakfasts and all that stuff, and every morning we had like the full English breakfast, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's like hash
Oh.
brown, yeah, hash
You're
browns,
you're
the
you're a bangers
coffee.
and mash guy now? Are you a bangers and mash guy now?
No, no,
Is that what I'm hearing?
not totally, but like the people like to talk about how it's not seasoned, it doesn't taste great or anything like that. But maybe maybe we were lucky, and this was the exception. But it was okay. It wasn't the greatest breakfast I've ever had, but it was definitely not. I had that fear of like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be the worst breakfast. It's
Yeah.
gonna like taste so bland and everything. But shout out to the people at the oh gosh, Hotel Eris. Oh yeah, it's one of those. I'll figure it out. I'll put it in the links or whatever. But yeah, no, shout out to them. The breakfast was good. I was actually kind of impressed and surprised. I was like, oh, good for that. This is not what I expected. I thought it was going to be like this
Nice.
bland mess that was going to be disappointed and everything. But yeah, it was not that. So that was
Oh.
pretty cool. What else? Oh, Nando's. One of the things that I was looking forward to when I finally got to the UK was this peri peri chicken place called Nando's. I saw it on the show Atlanta and like
Yeah.
yeah, they hyped it up in that one episode when they were in Europe and they thought they made it sound like it was the greatest place in the world and I was like, I need to try that. I need to
Need
try
to try it.
Nando's. And like it turns out they have like locations in DC and the East Coast, and I'm like, man, I can't get out there. But got
Hmm.
to try it in the UK, and I was like,
That's
this is
cool.
pretty good. Dude, Nando's is it's worth the hype. I was very impressed. They even had like a collab with Fanta Orange, and they had Fanta Orange flavored peri peri chicken. And I was like, I need this in America as soon as possible. I did not know that chicken could taste good with the flavor of Fanta Orange. That specifically Fanta Orange Zero, I guess, is like the actual promotion. It's like not bad, not bad.
I don't even know how to respond to that. That's just something I've got to taste because I don't even know how to reference that in my head.
Yeah, yeah. So. Yeah, man, like it's been fun. Like the whole UK adventure has been like cool. Got to see a little bit like, how like how people are like, they're more big into F1 than they are here in America. There's definitely see a lot more like Lewis Hamilton-y like, fandom over there. Especially since in the UK and everything. And then we got to go to Paris, stayed at like a place adjacent to like the Champs-Élysées. And I gotta say, man, Paris, first time I've ever been there. It's pretty cool. I've never
Nice.
been to a place like that. It's like you were there like last year, and like, what did you think actually think about Paris, like in terms of like just the place and everything?
I've enjoyed Paris. I've gone twice. And I've enjoyed it, but I've always went there working. I've never gone there as a tourist. So
Yeah,
you probably had a completely different experience than I had. Like I just, to me, it was just I was working in another city, but I was working. So, it's not
right.
really a chance to really take in the place. I mean, it looked beautiful and everything I saw seemed great, but I haven't really had a chance to really like explore the city. So,
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's pretty cool. We stayed at this place that is it's one of those, it's like in these one of these like corners and all that stuff, like one of those, like it's not like in the main roads, but it's like just slightly off it. And then when
oh,
you
okay.
enter, you get into like it's like it's around like these like restaurants and like mini shops and all that stuff, and then you just see like these big double doors, and then you enter, and then all of a
Hmm.
sudden like it's dark, it's like a hallway, and then the lights go on, and then it leads you like into your abode, and it's like, oh, it's like it just goes 3 stories high, and it's like it's just and you're just surrounded by like different like the buildings, and it's like it's just that Paris architecture, and you're like, oh, it really does look like the movies. It really looks like those things you've seen. And like we stayed at this place, it's got like a nice sunroom and everything, and
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, man, yeah. And then like in the mornings, I would go take my walks, and I would just like get lost and be like, oh, this the Napoleon built like the Napoleon monument, or oh, here, there's the Arc the Triumph, and like just everywhere you go, there's just something to see. And it's like it's very unlike anything really here in California, because in like in California, you have to like get in your car to go to like the different spots and everything, right? And it's
Yeah.
like here, everywhere, every corner, there's like something else, and it's like, it's kind of New York in that way, but it's like it's
Yeah.
more old school. Like it's even like old school, but like it's more like from the past, like like the architecture and like the designs and everything and all the old monuments and stuff. It's like it definitely feels like it's like a time machine sometimes when you go there, when you're there. And it's mixed with like, of course, all of like the modern, like the luxury brands. Like it's funny because it's like
Yeah.
there's like a Gucci store. Like I think I saw like 4 or 5 Gucci stores, 4 or 5 Louis Vuittons, and like just
Mm.
everywhere, every corner, it's like, oh, here's fancy store. Oh, hey,
Here's
here's
another
Patek
fancy
Philippe.
store.
Oh, here's the
Yeah.
RPG. Oh, the AP, like the watch stores, and like, oh, here's the row where all
Yeah.
like the fancy stuff is at. And it's like, man, this is where all the money goes. And it's like exactly right. That's exactly the thought. And yeah, man, it's just that's where all the rich is at. Like, the Louvre is there too. And we didn't actually get to
Yeah.
go inside. But yeah, man, it was just like it was an experience for sure. We did like the boat, the go on the Seine, the River Seine and all that stuff. And shout out to the boat that we were on. There was a dude there who was like the whole time was just like filming what seemed like was a music video
Oh,
the whole
that's
time.
dope.
And yeah, yeah, just pretty much this whole dude was just like, yeah, no, he was doing exactly that. He was doing exactly that. And he was just like, just being like, just dropping rhymes and everything. And I'm like, man, shout out
Oh,
to
I
my
love
guy
it.
here. The
I
whole
love
time,
it.
he was just like dropping rhymes. And it's like, I don't know if it was his mom or his manager was just like recording it on her phone. And it's like, oh man, this is gonna be like the most fire TikTok ever, man.
Wow, his mom or his manager. I don't even know how
And
to
that's what it
respond.
looked. I mean, that's what it looked like, man. It was just like, dude.
That's
But
fantastic.
hey,
That's fantastic.
if you follow me on the socials and you're one of those like green circle people, you saw what it looked like, and sure enough, I did get a lot of responses that were like, "Oh man, that's pretty funny." But I didn't want to like out the person or anything like that, so I just shared it amongst the closest,
The close friends.
S-
Oh, you're considerate of his hype. You didn't
Yeah,
want to
you're
just
in
spoil
there
his
too.
hype.
Don't be act like you're not a part of it. Like you're in there
No, I'm
too.
just saying
So
you're very like considerate of his hype.
I don't want. Maybe he's doing it in secret. I don't want to blow up his spot or anything like that. I'm
Yeah,
like
you don't know when the video's coming out. You don't know
exactly
when
like it might be like a surprise drop or a fire. You don't know. You don't know how it goes sometimes. Like, maybe it's like the dude just drops it like, surprise, here we go, man. New hotness and everything.
That's
So,
true.
but
That is true. We
so
don't
I
want
don't
to
want
we
to,
don't want to
we don't,
spoil
you
his
don't want to do that. Yeah.
we don't
Just
want to
looking
kill his
forward to,
vibe.
yeah, no, no. I was just like, I was vibing to. I was like, man, he is really like going all out, just doing the poses and everything. He even did a part where he had like these pictures of somewhere, like postcards, and showing it like on the video. And I'm like, man, how is this edit gonna look? It's gonna look amazing, right? Because you see
I
it, he's
love that
doing
he
it past
got you locked in.
all the monument, the Eiffel. Because when you do the river tour, it's like you see the Eiffel Tower, the Notre Dame
Oh
Cathedral,
yeah,
like he's doing it all in front of that. So it's like it's just that's I respect it. I respect the game. Hey, if it's a way to show off, it's the way to like show that you got that. Hey, more power to
I
you,
love
man. I love
it.
it. Yeah,
That's
man.
cool. That's cool. Good for him. Good for him.
Oh, oh my gosh. And then like where are we? Well, yeah, no, Paris was great. Paris food was good there too. Um And then we went to well, earlier we went to Belgium, passed by Brussels, which I gotta say, I know people give a lot of I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Let's talk about the driving. I didn't get to drive in London because we did have like someone thankfully help us drive around there because I wouldn't be able to survive driving in London because of like the
Oh yeah,
the
because
opposite
of
side and everything. But
London.
we did rent a car here in Paris, and we've driven it here to like Belgium and then to Germany. And I gotta say, Paris, people hype it up as like it is like it's the most dangerous place to drive in. Like people are reckless and all that stuff. And I gotta say, it's not that bad. And
No, you got.
I drove a 9-seater van, man, 9-seater van, and I didn't think it was that bad.
That's what Juan calls his private plane, guys. A nine-seater van.
I will say though, Brussels, tough, tough. I was like, man, this is LA, but worse.
That's not a good sign.
No, it wasn't. Like I was just like, it feels like it's like you're driving in LA, but somehow like it's escalated. It's like an escalated LA, and I'm like, oh boy, this is I felt like I was home for like a couple hours because it took us about an hour and a half just to get out of like the place that we were at in Brussels, just to get back on the
Uh,
highway to Germany. But in Paris, I was like, and maybe I was lucky. Who knows? Maybe I was lucky when I was in Paris and it wasn't as bad as, people make it out to be. But I did go around like the roundabouts and like, went through like the narrow, passageways and all that stuff. And I was like,
yeah.
it's not like I was dude, I was watching like YouTube videos before I got here and people were like there was shout out to those particular YouTube videos where it's like I took it as a personal challenge because I'm built for this and I'm tough and I'm a great driver and like I took it as a challenge that I'm going to survive here in Paris and I'm like, bro. And I was
Yeah.
like,
I
oh
don't
man, is it
need
really
that.
it was really that bad? Like I was actually legitimately like, oh man, how am I gonna survive this, right? And then I get there, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bad, but it's not the the miserable mess that everybody made it out to
That
be.
made
Because
it seem like it was. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's doable. It's absolutely doable. Like I'm sure if I actually stayed there for an extended amount of time, I would hate it too. But as somebody who's just like who drove there for the very first time yesterday, kind of got through it. It was all right.
Yeah. I was like, ah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It was doable. I'm not saying it was easy, but it was definitely like not the challenge that I thought it was gonna be.
That people
The
made it
Brus
out to be.
yeah, yeah, the Brussels thing was definitely more like, oh man, I just feel like I was at home. I feel like I was in LA because of like the congestion and everything. And I was like, oh man, what are we doing here?
Well,
In front of like these buildings, and it's like a very LA looking buildings, and I'm like, oh man. I'm
yeah.
like,
LA
oh, this is gonna be
everywhere.
me like this is gonna be me like in a week. But
We're in all the
yeah,
places.
man.
We're in all the
Yeah.
places.
We're in all the places. But anyways, sneakers. Let's talk about that. Not a lot of not what I didn't know what to expect really when I came here.
Hmm.
What to expect in terms of like sneaker stuff and everything. Did not see a lot of Jordans, not a lot of J's. The occasional retro here and there. Um, no Yeezys, no LeBrons, no Kobe's, no Katie's, no Giannis's, no. not even the Adidas, signature shoes, nothing like that.
Oh
But
wow.
a lot of on runners, a lot of Hokas. I even saw a Salomon store. I think I even texted you. I was like, "Oh, dude, look, a Salomon store.
Yeah.
I've never seen one of those before." But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely people here are more like into runners, train as I guess they like to call it trainers. And the attire here is like, winter coat, slacks, sneakers. Just like your air
Oh,
and
I like that vibe.
yeah, lot of Air Maxes. Air Maxes are definitely a thing here, especially like the Tune Air, the Air Max
Mm.
Plus. Saw a lot of
Yeah.
Air Max Plus. Did not see any DN8s. Did not saw some Air Max 90s, but yeah. Not even a lot, not a lot of Adidas, but definitely a lot of Hokas. A lot of Hokas, lots of
Wow.
Salomons, and lots of On Runners. On Runners are definitely a thing around here. All throughout your UK, Paris. Yeah, it's definitely just been like it just goes to show you that, like how different like the culture is around like the sneaker whatever the sneaker culture is here. It's definitely unlike what it is here in America. I haven't actually walked into any of the like the Nike stores or the Adidas stores just to see like what it would be like what they actually like promote in comparison to like here in America. I just pass by like the stores and I just see like the
Yeah.
advertisements and everything. It's definitely more just like runners and trainers. So in terms of like presentation and everything, I do see, obviously because it is more of like, football around here as the, soccer in America. Like, that's more of the focus around here. So it's a lot of
Hmm.
there's less focus on like, the basketball people. Obviously no US football. But yeah, I mean I was kind of just like surprised. Well, I wouldn't surprised isn't the word, but more just like, oh, so this is what it looks like around here. People are more just like for their walking. It's definitely just a lot of like people just
Oh.
finding the sneakers that they need to like, get around. Cause that's definitely like because, when I would get up in the morning to walk at like 6 a.m., 7, whatever, just to see people go to work and everything, the suit types and everything. A lot of people definitely like in their e-bikes and, they got the coats on, they got their slacks and, the sneakers. And that's pretty much
Interesting.
it. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So
when I was in Germany, it was pretty similar. A lot of runners, although there was a lot of Adidas, but I was in Germany, so maybe that makes more sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Oh,
know here, not so much. Like, oh, I mean, I've only been in Germany for like a day. So, I mean, like this night, so I haven't seen like exactly what people are wearing around here. So we'll see how that looks like maybe like tomorrow and everything. But yeah, that's basically the intro, the report from
Wow.
from Europe, man. Like it's just been like an exhausting, worthwhile, definitely worthwhile, but an exhausting, 2 weeks. So, what's been going on over there? How are,
honestly, you haven't missed much. There's a lot of a lot of sneaker stuff is focused on the Nigel, the
yeah,
culprit.
yes.
We got a video up about those. The cool grays. We got a video coming up for those. Those have
So
had a
what's been
pretty
the
big
response
combo.
to right, the cool gray nines. Oh cool. I had those. I did have the cool gray nines, the 2012
The
retro.
2012 one. Yeah.
I honestly have no idea where it is. Now that I don't know if I sold it or if I gave it away. I know it's not home anymore. But yes, I did have the
You're the
cool.
second person that said that today that I've talked to.
Really? Really?
Yeah. It's like I
Yeah.
don't know where they are, or maybe I sold them, or I don't know. I don't know.
What it yeah, it's like and that, I know when the retro came about, I was like, oh, well I had those. Where are they
Yeah.
again? And it's not like I didn't like them. I thought they were pretty cool. But yeah, man, it's just it's interesting that like these sneakers when they come back after you were like after you waited for so long for them to finally come back and then when you do get them, it's like, "Oh cool, I have them." It's like the chase or the desire of like, was like that was the fun part. And now that you have
Yeah.
them, like there are definitely some retros I'm like, oh chair, I'll always like cherish them and all that. Some black cement threes. I know where they are. I know where my black cement threes are. I'll never get rid of those. Those will always
Right.
be with me forever. But like when it comes to these particular like level of like retros, like cool grade nines, I mean, I wanted them, but then when I had them, I was like, cool, I have them.
Mm.
Now what? You know? Like I can sell them, I can keep them, I can give them to like a family member or something like that. It's not gonna be the end of the world for me. Not like with like I wouldn't call them grails, but like it's not like on that particular level. So when it came
Yeah.
back, like now that you have like the 2025 retro, I'm like, oh, I had those. And that's just the memory. It's like, oh, well, okay, cool. No, it's back. It's great. So,
Yeah, it's
and
like,
it's
all right,
interesting that you
cool.
have yeah, yeah. So, what's the response been like to the brick by brick fours?
It's been mixed. I think there's a lot of
Mm,
backlash because they're limited.
really?
There's
Oh, okay,
there's
sure.
50,000 pairs, so they're not super limited,
Right,
but they are limited. But there's also, I think a lot of people love them. I think a lot of people love the colorway. So it's not terribly different than any other release. I think a lot of people are excited about them, but then at the same time, there's a lot of comments about being like, "Oh, why is everybody hype over this sneaker? Like, I don't get it." So there's I don't know if they're necessarily being haters or if they're genuinely not interested, but it's a strange mix of conversations around the shoe.
it's not overwhelmingly positive, is kind of what you're saying.
No, I wouldn't say it's overwhelming.
Interesting.
I'd say it's probably about 95% positive. There's a,
Oh,
a
okay.
very vocal 5%. Like in the comments on our YouTube video and the comments on like some of the posts, there's
Right,
quite a few comments on the post. And negative people are probably gonna, not negative people, but negative comments.
right,
People are gonna post negative comments before they're like, "Oh, cool, I like those." A lot of people aren't going to just say that. They're just gonna like,
right,
"Oh, like them, like the photo, and keep it pushing." But yeah, so it's a bit it's causing a bit of a stir, but I think the overwhelming majority of people are into it and try to get it
right.
there. They had a sneaker pass for LA today. Um and then I think they had one in New York as well. So we'll see how they end up on sneakers. They release on Saturday on the sneakers app, so we'll see. Wait, is it Saturday? I don't think it might not be Saturday.
What is it
Might have just
today? I don't even know what today is anymore. What again?
Oh
The
yeah, for you. Yeah, for
but
you
yeah.
it's a little different.
So what do you think this will do for like Nigel's like standing within Jordan brand? Like the between like, his success with like the Jordan 4 RM and his various like bike airs, like what do you think this is gonna
I
do for
think
like
it's
his
great.
oh okay.
I think this is a really cool moment for Nigel. Um, Almost like a full circle moment for him, like to have this kind of hype and energy around him. Like they had a little bit of this with the 4RM, but this feels
Uh-huh.
like a really big splash, which is really cool. It's really cool. You kind of love to see it.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's kind of like do you think this kind of gets him on like the Travis level, or do you think he has like more to go to kind of get to, like within, I mean, Travis obviously like its own different, like unique kind of
Yeah.
like, hurricane cycle, like, of like hype and everything. But do you think this kind of puts him like getting closer to kind of that level, or do you think we need to see like more? Because he's done like the airship too, also. But like, do you feel like Nigel needs to do like how much more do you think he needs to go to kind of get to like that upper echelon of like Jordan collaborators?
I think he'd have to do a lot more shoes, a
Hmm.
couple more shoes. Like he's gonna need a couple more bangers. Like this
Hmm.
is banger number one, but he needs a two and a three. This
Right.
isn't like a universal banger like the Unions. Those are like universal bangers. Like
Oh,
these are,
interesting. Interesting.
yeah. This has a lot of great energy behind it, but it's not like everyone's not sold on it. I think everyone was sold on like those original Union Jordan ones. I think everybody was
Hmm.
kind of sold on those off the top, and he doesn't have that kind of hype. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Well, what else is there going on? Right. Oh, did you see that? I noticed like, did you hear about like, the John Cena heel turn and all that stuff? And Travis Scott was there, and
Yeah,
he
that's
he
crazy.
and he he apparently whacked Cody Rhodes so it's in the face pretty badly that it caused a black eye.
Oh wow, no, I didn't see that
And,
part.
and Travis apparently was kind of like a little too hyped for the moment, and people are kind of like, hating on him for kind of taking it too real. And
Oh,
I guess Travis is releasing a shirt that's called Wrestling that has like him, The Rock, and John Cena on the shirt. And on the back, I guess it says wrestling is real. And I'm like, man, what happened? What happened?
wow. Oh, he's all
Yeah,
in.
man. Yeah, apparently he's gonna play a huge role in the WrestleMania whole like the whole like rollout to like because the big match is gonna be between Cody Rhodes and a bad guy John Cena, which is like the first time that's ever happening, with The Rock
Yeah.
as his boss, and apparently Travis Scott for just because like it's the thing it's like oh we can get Travis to do this stuff oh cool, and
Yeah.
that's very much in the WWE's MO is like, oh, this very famous celebrity wants to be a part of like our thing. Cool, we'll get him to do let's just put him in the main event if he wants to. And Travis Scott
Yep.
is definitely that kind of that level of celebrity where like, yeah, he doesn't have any formal training. He doesn't really know what necessarily to do at any particular moment in terms of like wrestling wise and everything. But he's a
Yeah.
big enough name. Yeah, we'll put him in the main event. And so apparently, like Travis is going to be training or is in the process of training to have a particular moment during WrestleMania. And man, that's gonna be interesting. And I
Hmm.
wonder, like, there's also the big, connection between like, Jordan, Travis, and,
Yeah.
Jordan and like, Roman Reigns. So like that's a huge thing for them. And I was just like curious to see like how how that's gonna play out in terms of like Travis being there. Because they've had like their recent run of like successful celebrities who have like transitioned into actually like doing wrestling for real. It's not like the old days when they had like celebrities who were just there for like to promote something or
To
to like or
promote
not really
something. Yeah.
or not really know what's going on in terms of like the wrestling or anything. But they've had like Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, for as much as people don't like or don't like him. He's actually pretty good at the whole wrestling thing. And I guess Travis is
Yeah.
next. And I guess we're gonna see him do something wild. And if you've ever seen Travis on a live stage show, he is prone to do stuff. So he's not, nope, yep, that energy is probably gonna be there on
Man,
display at
it'll be
WrestleMania.
interesting to see it
Yeah.
in real
If he's
time.
yeah, if he's willing to do some like crazy move on Cody Rhodes and wearing some like exclusive Jordans that I'm sure people are going to be like, "Oh, look at that." Like I cannot believe we are at this era where like wrestling and sneakers and hip hop and all these things and have all come together. And of course, The Rock is going to take credit for all of it because that's just
Yep.
what he does.
He orchestrated the heel turn. So
Sure, he did. Apparently, the rumor this is actually funny. Somebody pointed this out. I don't know. I think I saw it on like on a Reddit thing. But this is if this goes as all according to plan, this will be the second year in a row when The Rock has had like his plan for what he wanted to do at WrestleMania be like kind of sidestepped by something. Because last year he wanted to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but the fans like hated that because they like Cody. So, there was a revolt, and The Rock, in his infinite wisdom, said, "Hey, what if we do this instead?" I don't know how real that is, or how much that want to take stock in that. So they had to like switch things up so that Rock could still come out as like still looking good, even
yeah.
though like his plan did not go as promised or like did not get followed through. And this year, what he wanted to do originally, I guess the original plan was he wanted to make Cody his bad guy, his like his heel, his bad, like his champion or whatever. And I guess Cody said nah, and they went with John Cena instead. So I'm like, oh man, so this is the second year in a row where the Rock's plan did not go according to did not go
Oh,
according to whatever what he wanted. So I'm like, oh. So I guess the way that we get to where we want, like the way to get to what people want during WrestleMania is to like hear what The Rock has to say and do the exact opposite of it, but just somehow still involve him into it and
still
kind of make it
involve
seem
him
like
in the.
yeah, and then kind of make him feel like it was his idea all along. It's like, oh yeah, no, great idea, Rock, great, yeah, it's good job, good job, buddy. Hey, it's a great idea, but what about this?
I mean, I like it. You know, it's a collaborative effort. Collaborative effort.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. Oh, geez. It's like, I wonder though, like, it's got to be funny because like Triple H, the long time, he's like running creative now there. I wonder how he must feel in terms of like every time The Rock shows up, he's like, hey, I got it at the end. He's like, we've got plans already, man. We already, it's like, we already, we've been,
I
you've
think
been
we
messing
gotta.
with me for,
I think
you,
we gotta
you,
change our tone. Everybody's always like giving The Rock a hard time. I think we gotta encourage him.
oh, yeah, well,
And
look,
it's all rumor and innuendo too. Like no one
oh,
really knows.
of course. Yeah, for
All
as far as we know, this is all part of the plan. This is actually like, for as far as we know, we're being worked. And the reality is like that's how the world of wrestling is. It's like this could all just be like all of us being like set up. And this is all just like all
yeah,
this is actually the plan all along. And the reality is I don't care either way as long as I'm entertained. The reality is
right.
it's like as long as the story is fun, the build up is entertaining, they can talk about however they want. They can leak it. They can talk about whatever they want to, whatever. And if that's the true story, great. If it's not, whatever. As long as I
Yeah,
enjoyed it, that's all that really matters. And
yeah.
yeah,
As long
no,
as you
and it's
enjoy
been
watching it.
entertaining. Yeah. And that's all been entertaining. And speaking of things that have not been entertaining, I've been checking on the Lakers since I've been gone. How we doing,
Yeah.
man? Like LeBron's been
You know
out.
what? Yeah, I haven't watched the last couple of days,
It's
so I need to check. I need to check.
Yeah, when our Lakers lost to the team that shall not be named.
Yeah, that was like, and LeBron got hurt. It wasn't just
And
one
LeBron
loss.
got hurt
LeBron got
too. And we're
hurt.
like we're like,
Yeah,
oh no, oh no. I was just checking my phone. I was like, well, dang.
yeah. I
But
think we'll be all
apparently,
right.
yeah. I mean, like Luca's gonna hold the fort down, but he's it's one of those things, man. You just can't get your hopes, too high up every, because stuff like this is bound to happen. LeBron is definitely at that age where like it's probably expected that stuff like this is going to happen. But it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
seem
like,
like it's going to be one of it doesn't seem like it's going to be one of those injuries that's going to keep him out for too long.
yeah. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it's long term. Like, I mean, like same thing with Tiger. Like Tiger rupturing his Achilles. You're just like,
Wait,
bro, it's
what?
like
What happened? What happened
Tiger ruptured his Achilles.
today?
No, no, this was I think over the past weekend. So he was
Oh,
supposed to
what?
play in he was rumored to play in the players, but he sent out a message saying that he ruptured his Achilles and so that he won't be playing.
Oh
Um
no.
yeah, so it's
I th
like I don't know, man. It's like, man, bro, is your body just breaking down that much, or is this a result of you favoring that other leg, and so that's why the
Yeah.
Achilles ruptured? Like, there's so many questions. Obviously, he's not going to answer any of those, but yeah, he's out of the game. He's out of
Oh,
it for
wow.
I don't know how long, but it'll be a minute before he's able to compete again, which
I
sucks, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I know he's been going through like a tough patch because of his mom passing, and I kind of thought that's why he hasn't been playing is because, or hasn't been like in the mental state to really perform is because of his mom's
Yeah,
passing, and I feel for him, condolences to his family and everything, but I did not know about that injury. That sucks, and
yeah, it's a tough one.
we really are at this point where it's like we kind of have to like be. It's we always hope that Tiger can get back to form, right?
Yep.
And we always hope that there's this possibility. We always hold out this hope, this like movie magical moment that he'll come roaring back like he used to, right? And
Yep.
I think we have to like really kind of set our expectations now, where it's like we already had that. We already had that in 2019. It already
Yeah, the
happened.
Masters one.
Like, and I think anything now would just be greedy on our parts as fans and unrealistic and maybe like hard. We can't do that to Tiger anymore. We can't do that to him. Like, we can't keep hoping because maybe he has that. Maybe he feels, I don't know if he feels the pressure. I don't know if he's like coming back because of pressure from us or pressure because, he's got Sunday Red or because of this whole thing with TGL. But I really hope that he's just taking his time and really just, yo, man, like you've done enough. Like I don't need to see you out there because we do want to see you out there, but we want to see you out there like right frame of mind, right body. Like, we don't want
Yeah,
you like forcing yourself there for our benefit anymore. Because
I mean, we don't want to see him out there broken.
yeah, we don't. If he
I
wants to
think
do
that's the
it, like,
thing.
that's his prerogative. If he wants to do it, like, for his pride or for whatever, hey, we watched MJ play for the Wizards. We wa
Yeah,
we've seen
true.
other greats like, suit up for other teams. We've seen like, actors, take roles that, maybe we wouldn't want them to take, but the money was good or something like that. But
Yeah, that money makes a difference, man.
yeah, so if they want to keep going, that's their prerogative. But I hope that, especially for Tiger's sake, because I've been watching him since I was a kid. Like, I hope for
Yeah.
his sake that he's not doing it. He's doing it for himself, and he's not doing it for any other reason than for himself. If he wants to go out there and do it for himself, go ahead and do it, man. But like, don't do it on any of our accounts anymore. Like, don't ever feel that pressure to like go out there because like I need to do this for the fans or to do it for like whatever money reason or for whatever, legacy reason. Just do it for him, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you have to,
Yeah.
you hope so, but he's just so, I think he's so competitive. Like, you just want to get back in, and
Yeah.
you want to play again, and you feel like it's like, like you always hear guys that play basketball, like that haven't played basketball for years, be like, in my mind, I was going left, but my body was going right. You know what I mean? Like they see the game. It's like that he still sees the round. He can see it, but
Yeah.
his body just can't do it for him anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's tough. That's tough. Well, I mean, the other thing I did want to ask since we are in the golf tip, Jacques, like how's the TGL? Like how is it going? I haven't been able to keep up since I left for
It's
to
great.
do the
It's playoff time.
gallivanting. Uh-huh.
It's playoff time. So I think we'll get more of that next week. I think
Hmm.
it's next week that we get some more golf. Yeah, Monday and Tuesday. It's LA versus New York and the Bay versus the ATL. We're LA seat number one. New York is four. The Bay is two, and ATL is third. Um, then on the 24th, we'll have the semifinal winner versus winner, and then I think the championship match is the week after that.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
how has this first season been in your opinion as somebody who does have a connection to LAGC?
Mhm.
Like, what is your take on how this first season has been for TGL?
I think it's been a really good season. I think it's been a really good
Hmm.
season to start. It's the first season for a league like this. It's the first, season for this format. I think they've covered a lot of really great ground getting things started, and it'll be exciting to see where it goes next year. I think they have a lot of learnings from this year, and next year they'll really be able to build on things and really be able to change the format and address some of the concerns that people have. But I think
Hmm.
overall, it's been a great experience. I mean, again, this is the first season. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
man.
I
Yeah.
don't know what we can't expect it to be perfect. I think they're getting some
Right.
of the kinks out, and after LA wins this season, which is just an LA thing to say, we'll see how things go.
What do you think is like well, okay? So, what do you think is the easiest thing they can fix for season two, and what do you think will be something that might be difficult for them to fix?
Um, the thing I can answer both, I think, in the same question is that they need to figure out how to translate the energy of the live being there live
Uh-huh.
to television, and but then also the television broadcast. It's almost like a made for TV kind of sport,
Right.
and they have to get translate that to the people that are inside the arena, inside of SoFi. So
Hmm.
I think it's really finding that balance between the live experience and the made for television experience. in translating that out to both audiences so they enjoy it a lot more. So we'll
Right.
see. We'll see what happens. It'll be an exciting change, I think.
Can we start seeing like an expansion of like the locations? Do you think is it still good just gonna be in Florida next year, or do you think we could kind of see like uh it popping up in different areas as well? Because I think maybe a big part, because they do represent different cities, and I don't know if it's
Yeah.
realistic to like see an LA stadium next year, or in the Bay next year, or like in Boston next year. But do you think we could start seeing it more? Because maybe that's another way we can kind of start getting more fans interested in it, is to actually have them play where the places where they represent. Like LA, I feel like
Yeah.
would be a great place to start. Florida's already there, obviously, but like if we could get like a LA and Boston, like if we could have like a location in LA and a location on the East Coast, like in Boston or something, whatever that
Yeah.
place, they can have one, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like if they can have like if those kinds of places have like their own like stadium, I think that could go a long way in getting more fans like actually interested and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I think the long term, I know the long, from what I've been told, the long term plan is to have stadiums in more than just in places other than just Florida. I just
Right.
don't know if that's economically feasible at the moment. I think they need to
Right.
get the league to a place where they feel confident in the product that they're offering before they start to build out that experience in other places. So I think probably these next maybe 2 to 3 seasons, it'll still be in Florida, and then I think then they'll start building once they feel like the league has some energy behind it and it can grow. Because, that's a custom arena. That's not something that they can just,
Yes. Yes.
take different places. And that's part of the challenge is, getting that full setup in other places. If that setup was easy to move, then it'd be a different
Hmm.
ball game. But all of that is like custom made for that building. So they have to literally build those custom buildings right now. It's not like a template sort of thing where they can be like, oh, we just got to put a court in there and it works. It's not like that. It's a whole
Right.
different experience.
Right. And finally, like in terms of like the format itself, do you think there could be tweaks to it, or do you feel like we're kind of in a good spot right now in terms of like the actual format of play? Do you think there's like little things that maybe they can tweak around there to kind of get it where they want it, like to kind of make it even more TV friendly? Because I think like watching a few matches, I definitely like thought it was pretty enjoyable. But there's also a part of me that like, and I can't tell you exactly what those changes would be at the moment, but I feel like there could be a little bit of things here and there that they could kind of fix to kind of make it even more of a TV friendly product. I mean, it always the first thing that always comes to mind for me, honestly, is just because of like because we talked about it on Hard Pass, was because of those intros. And
Mm,
I thought it could be a little bit more modern, and like the background music could be a little bit more modern. I mean, it's fine. Like I appreciate the fact that it's music that I grew up listening to a lot, like a lot of
yeah,
it. But it's like I'm not the particular demographic that they're probably going for. In terms
yeah.
of like the TGL, they need a younger audience. So it's those little things. But in terms of like the actual style of play, like the play itself, are there things that maybe you see that could maybe use a little bit of work?
Um, Nothing stands out to me as far as the play goes. Yeah, nothing there. I think the format that they have it in is really nice. I like that it's 15 holes, keep it locked into 2 hours. They're
Right.
in and they're out. They're done. But no, I can't think of any changes to play, at least not off the top of my head. I may maybe have to watch and I'll watch the rest of the playoffs and maybe that'll spark some ideas or spark something in my head where I'm like, that kind of thing.
All right, cool, cool. Well, we are at the 50-minute mark, and I am also, what time is it now? Oh man, it's like 12 a.m. I am sleepy. I've been driving for 6, 7 hours today, so that's been fun.
Oh, wow.
So I
Yeah,
am
well go get you some rest, man. Go to
but
bed.
yeah, I will tell you what
I
I
gotta
will
shoot an
I
unboxing on these real
oh yeah,
quick.
you definitely have to go do that. So, but I will definitely tell one more story because I want to get this out there before my niece tells her version of the story. Anyways, so we did go to the F1 Drive experience in Tottenham,
Oh,
the
nice.
state. Yeah, it's basically like a mini. It's like a mini go-kart track, and
Yeah.
you kind of get to live out your F1 fanboy fantasies or whatever, and like drive there, put on the suit and like go do your races. You get to stand on the podium if you win and all that stuff. Funny enough, like one of the presenters of F1 TV was there too, like when we were there, and I was like, oh, hey, it's that guy, Lawrence.
Oh,
That dude
nice.
was there, and I was like, oh, cool. I was like, oh shoot, I see you on TV. I didn't actually talk to him. I was like, whatever, man. Like, it's just somebody walking by, just someone who like, just like
Yeah.
whatever. But I was like, oh, pretty cool. I was like, oh, so this place is like F1, F1. Like, sometimes you see these things and you're like, is this
Yeah.
really like sponsored by, is this really like an F1 production? It's an F1
Yeah.
production.
It's
They got the
it's
car.
legit.
Oh, it's legit. Like when you see like the people you see on TV on there, you're like, oh, it's pretty legit. They got like all of the memorabilia there. Lewis Hamilton used stuff, and I'm like, and then like like a demo car there, and like and we did the whole thing. Put the suit on. We did the whole simulation. We did like a driver pre-brief and all that stuff. Watched the video, told us all the rules and stuff. We did qualifying, did the race and all that stuff. And I just want to point out that I won. Nothing
Okay.
else. Absolute. Nope. Yeah. Nope. That's absolutely positively what happened. There's video evidence of me winning. I did not place anywhere below or anything like that. Nope. 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 Yeah. No. That's absolutely positively what happened. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. So yeah. No. That's
Oh,
I'm just putting it out there on
okay.
the internet so I can post this a clip later on the socials that I got that out there first before someone else tells otherwise exactly what happened. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to turn on the notifications for your niece's Instagram so I can get the other part of the story. Huh. But I feel like
There's good.
something's so, but you know
Yeah.
what? I'll let you go
Look,
get your rest. Don't worry about it.
just like my buddy on that boat on the on the river cruise. My version of it, like when I actually post it on the socials, there's gonna be a fire edit. It's gonna have it's gonna be a whole thing once I remember to actually do that, and I'm not like dead tired or anything like that. But anyways, this has been episode 28 or 29 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I am your
Yes.
co-host, Juan Martinez. You can catch us on the socials, Too Hard to Pass. It's on Instagram. It's on, well, I think it's on Blue Sky. We'll get that figured out someday.
Let's
Um,
go.
yeah, yeah. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything like that, you want to send something to the mailbag, you can send it at too hard to pass podcast at gmail.com. Again, that is too hard to pass podcast at gmail.com. That's the number two. Number two. And Jacques, shameless plugs.
I am Yacht Slade, Cousteau, living the cold, wet life here in California. Nothing nice about it. Appreciate you guys for watching. Yeah, they cheap there. They cheap there, bro. Um, Make sure you guys
Someone
leave a
just left the
comment, leave
bag.
five
Someone just left the
stars and all of
bag.
that good stuff. Wow, and you're going through these people's stuff. What is this guy? We appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you for checking out the Too Hard to Pass podcast.
They
And
do have like some they do have some more like stuff here. Some gummies over there. So those I think
Juan is
those are just provided.
stealing from people.
Those are just
Stealing from
provided by
people.
the hotel, man. Those
Yeah,
are just
yeah,
provided
sure.
by the
Sure,
hotel.
sure they are. All right, y'all. We're out here. We'll see you next time. Peace.
All right, later.